Good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. Thank you for joining. I just wanted to show you because I think it's funny. Slush happens. Um, there's a lot of different crazy ascension symptoms that people are experiencing right now, and I just wanted to come on and let everyone know in the happy solstice that this is an energy peak right now that we're experiencing, and it's a beautiful thing. It can feel disruptive and kind of jarring as these energies come through. I'm finding that they're moving in very strongly, and when they do, all I need to do is send love to it. It sounds silly, it sounds, I don't know, inactive. However, when we do that, we're changing the vibrational frequency of what's in front of us, in our space, and within. And so, as soon as these energies started to come through, I started to feel it to be kind of disruptive and unpleasant. Sending love to it changed it immediately, and it elevated me to a higher space. So, to let you know, that is something that you can do. Hello, Kendra Moon. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Eden Art Garden. Happy solstice to you as well. Hello, Sam. Eden Art Garden also said hello. Hope you're all doing well. And Mandolin, who's ready to sync with Mother Earth? And that is very much what's happening right now. Hello, be beautiful. Welcome. There's this syncing. Hello, Kat. That's happening with Mother Earth in a very strong way. A lot of us, not knowing what we were doing, have been attempting to go into this higher energy space, right? Working higher to move higher up and move into that energy. And when we're doing that, often we forget to anchor. We forget to the connect our energy to Earth. There's a different kind of anchoring than we talk about a lot of times, where there's the karmic anchoring. What we're talking about here is actually connecting with Gaia, with Earth, and in that process, able to experience these things on higher frequencies, a much more efficient way and easier. So, RT Home, hi Pamela and everyone, Merry Christmas. Thanks, Jeff. Welcome, Carmen. Aloha, fam. Welcome. Faye's Mystic Faith says, hello. Hi, tribe. Glad to watch you live. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us. Kendra Moon says, I'm in a good place at this time. Thank God. Yeah, awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Chakaranda Marie, hello. Welcome. She's in a beautiful beach someplace in the planet right now. And I'm a little bit jealous, not going to lie. We are at below 7 degrees right now, and it's noon for me. It's midday, and we're below 7 Fahrenheit. That's very cold. Plus, there's a wind chill factor of like 30 below that's happening. Um, and there's something else about this. There's so some of the increased ascension symptoms people have been reporting have a lot to do with their belly right now. Yikes! Sending you some sunshine. Thank you, Jacaranda Marie. Yeah, it's pretty cold here, and we actually have like 4 or 5 days of so much snow coming that everything's closing. It's perfect timing because the public school system has closed their doors for the winter break. So people are taking advantage of it and just stocking up and staying in for a bit. It's going to be a fun experience. Um, so this stuff having to do with our belly, our manifestation has increased. Our manifestation powers or abilities have amplified over the past recent little while. However, right now there's a peak of that creation energy occurring. And as a result, a lot of people are having belly stuff going on around your tummy. Um, Earlier I was talking with somebody who was having I think vibration and cramping, like an unpleasant experience. The best thing I can say for that kind of a thing is to allow yourself to ground. Again, go back to that grounding thing. When you're in your experience, witness yourself in your mind's eye, digging your energetic roots into the ground and letting that stuff move through, helping this experience to accelerate. You can also do this on a laying on your back method, and then watch it come directly from the area of discomfort. That really does help us. The deeper that you dig, the more cozy and comfortable you'll find yourself. And also, there's an element of importance there too, is that in some of the places in the planet it's very cold. So please allow yourself to stretch those roots into where it's warm. That will assist also. So that's something that you can do. Also, bringing dirt into the home. In these colder places, we can't connect to the soil the way that we need to. That helps us in a lot of ways. And so bringing soil in, you don't have to have a massive container, just enough to play with it with your hands. Set your feet on top of it. 10 minutes a day with your hands, 5 minutes with your feet. I have been doing this for 20 years. And I used to have seasonal depression, really an intense version of seasonal depression. And I started to really get into gardening. And when I would bring this dirt into the home to start the early process of just waiting for it to be time, I started to feel better. And after doing it for some time, I found now that there's actually research to it. They call it earthing. It's a method in the world of psychology and therapy. And so it's just something that really helps us. It ionizes us and gives us the minerals that we normally get through the soles of our feet. So that really helps. Stephanie says, sending you warm thoughts from snowy Seattle-ish. Welcome. Thank you for coming, Stephanie. Carmen says, twitching around my belly. A lot of people are having this area happening right now. Remember, when we amplify our manifestation abilities, we also want to be aware of the kinds of things that are going around in our thoughts. Like often many of us will pick up the method of, planning for the worst case scenario so you can, have everything prepared for that. When we do that, we're also saying that's what I want. We're telling the universe, this is what I want in my life right now. And it gives it to you often. And so please keep, be cautious or aware of what your thoughts are. And it's okay. There's no reason to be afraid. It's simply we're learning how to ride the bike. You haven't even gotten to the point of even thinking about taking training wheels off, most of us. We're at this point, we're feeling what it is to be in this energy, and so it will take some time to give yourself the same patience, loving forgiveness that you would a young child learning to ride a bike. And Fenya's here. Hello, Fenya. Fenya's smile. She says, hi, Fenya here. Love you too. Kendra Moon says, I'm an Aquarius and so is my husband. And she also says, my husband is really purging like the dark night of the soul. Yes, a mass purging is occurring for a lot of people right now. Another way of saying that is a lot of people are doing inner child work. It's simply this. It's the same thing. It's just a different way of wording it. When we evolve in this experience as a physical form, there are things that we pick up and that are judgments or for some reason, one reason or another, a characteristic that comes natural to us is undesirable. And so we close it away and we hide that thing away. And then as this life continues, we do more and more of those things. What we're doing when we're ignoring something is we're actually imprisoning it. We're keeping it in this space where it can't move on and through. And so it kind of stays and festers. And so then we do this thing that's called either inner child work or shadow work. There's a lot of guided meditation on YouTube that I found very useful, called, just shadow meditation, guided meditation, and it will pop up a whole bunch of different results for you. That's a way to kind of start the process head on for anyone who's interested. Otherwise, I found for myself, I really like that method. I like doing it on purpose. Otherwise, it feels like it's coming out of the sky and hitting me upside the head. Like, we already are going to go through these sheddings. We're going to go through these purging experiences. So I don't know if it seems like it works better when I'm doing it on purpose. So that's just something as a side note. Let's see. Details, art, and tattoo. Repot some plants. Yes, exactly. That's how that started. That's what I was actually doing. I was moving stuff around and getting ready for gardening, and I'm better. And I related it directly to the plants. However, I'm sure that was impactful. I did notice that playing with dirt, it doesn't have to be with your feet. It's the reason we do the feet thing is that there's the largest pores in our body are on the soles of our feet. Most methods of natural remedy can be ingested by a foot soak because of that. And as a result, we can also do that with all these other things. When we walk around on the earth, we absorb all these minerals, and we ionize all the static stuff that we don't have any use for, that's not serving us, then can move into earth. Gaia says thank you. She's okay with doing that. And it just really helps us. And when in the wintertime we can't do it as often, it's not very comfortable. So and she says, or Details in Art says, play with it, don't eat it. Fenya, hello. Zayda, I don't know how to say your last name, but hello from Australia. Welcome. Stephanie's, that's a direct message to somebody else. Kendra Moon, well, what is up with the female cramping? I'm at 55, no period. Yes, that's definitely happening for a lot of us too. Other examples people have explained it to be is pregnancy symptoms. A lot of us are having these pregnancy symptoms where you're actually feeling the flutter of the baby that's not there. We're also feeling a lot of these weird cravings and also omission of certain foods. Hey, it's 12:12. Omittance of certain foods that we used to always eat. We're noticing this increase in like what the doctors are calling food allergies. However, they are symptoms of allergies to food. There's the same kind of experience that you do if you're eating something that you're allergic to. However, it's happening globally as a rapid onset. I've talked to a couple of doctors that are really perplexed by it, and I find it really fun. And what's happening is, in my understanding and in my experience, is that what's happening as we move up, as we evolve in this light energy space, our bodies don't resonate or harmonize with certain chemicals and foods and things. Like there are some things that wouldn't have bothered us before that now even the odor of it makes us feel ill in some occasions. And it's where our body's not vibrating at that lower frequency anymore. The higher up we go, the more things are going to change for your body. Not simply the foods that we ingest, but what other consumption things that we're doing. Noticing cutting out media, certain types of media. I don't watch the news anymore. I mean, at all. And I used to be really hard for me to, well, what's going on? Occasionally I'll peek in because I want to see the landmark. I want to see where we are as if we're looking out the window as a passenger in a car. However, it just pulls our vibration down. So I try not to do it as much. And I don't even have really a desire to do it. So it's just something to consider. We consume all these different things. Fenya says, wondering about my cat. She has had voice problems. Anyone else notice this with cats or other animals? There is a thing occurring with animals, with everybody. We're all having ascension symptoms. And I've heard a handful of people reporting different things. I don't know specifically that, the voice thing with cats or any animal, but I do know I've been hearing a lot about these animal ascension symptoms acting different. So if you have an animal and you're noticing their behavior changing, please comment. And if you have any questions or comments regarding various ascension symptoms or anything, please go ahead and comment and I'll address it if it's appropriate. Stephanie says, rebirthing the healed version of the inner child. Yeah, just like that. And that's what this window is, right? We're in this space. This particular solstice is stronger than I have ever experienced it. A lot of us have different times that we've awakened, or whatever, however it's worded, however you say it. And I just happen to have been here for doing this for a little while, and I've been aware of the energies of the solstice for quite some time. I bring that up only to say this one is really strong, and the healing is so intense and beautiful. Like the ground is fertile for healing at this time. And as that's happening, a lot of us are noticing what feels like things coming up to be looked at. And what's really occurring is we're pulling away from those things. And as we do, moving into this healing, beautiful place, these things are saying, or that can't come along, right? That don't vibrate at the same frequency, are being noticed now. It's just as perhaps you had a splinter or something in your finger, and it's not noticed until something comes in and disrupts it, water or something like that. And that's kind of what's occurring, and that's making it so we can see that thing that needs to be healed, while it's possible to do so in a rapid and more efficient, more easy way than is typical. So that's why this stuff is coming up. You can choose not to heal all of it. You can pick certain things, and you can completely ignore it. It's totally your call. I've found in this particular experience, it's beneficial to address it. And when these things come up, the important message of that is that we don't have to take these things on and like, this is a new label for me, and this, or investigate and research and dissect the thing. We don't need to do those things. It is to acknowledge it without judgment. Judgment is deciding if all of those things I had just said, without judgment, and releasing it with love. You existed, you happened, you are real. Thank you for your service and for getting me to this point. A lot of these things that we're moving away from were a requirement in some way to get to this place. And so they assisted us, right? Just like our ego. We're not, there's no death of the ego and killing the ego. It's simply, you're the passenger, buddy. You can get out of the driver's seat, and so it's the same kind of thing. Donna says, I don't pay attention to news either. Awesome. Good job. It changes the vibrational frequency of the space. And there's something about it. I can hear a frequency in the background that it bothers me. It's like fingernails down a chalkboard. Also, there's certain streaming devices or services that I can't do because the beginning sound leading into their content, that particular sound grades me. Like there's something up with it. Let's see. Fenya wrote something to Jacques René Marie, so I'm not going to read it. Jacques René Marie, I've noticed my pup just doesn't want to eat very much anymore. A little worrisome, but she's good. So there's another example of ascension symptoms in animals. I've noticed we're in this really crazy winter that's not common for this area. Like it's pretty amazing the amount of snow that we've already gotten, and usually this is the amount of snow we get at the end by the end of February, and we're already here. And still we have spring birds. We have these birds here still. And I'm noticing all of a sudden all of the deer disappearing. Like the deer are just gone. Normally this area has so many deer in the area. The quail just all of a sudden disappeared and then reemerged actually in the depths of winter, which is kind of interesting. There's just watching them and noticing the difference in behavior of the wild animals that are around the area. Things have changed. Things are definitely changing for everybody. Also, the wild turkeys that we have walking around the area, they don't tend to perch in trees, but they have been, probably because of the snow though, but it's still an interesting thing to watch. Kendra says, oh, I can taste chemicals in food, almost vegan. Yeah. And finding it, taking a little while to realize the things, to pinpoint what it is that's causing you some type of body disharmony. These foods that we have, some of them are full of whatever it is that's not going to work for us anymore. I learned over a period of months, it took me a while to find out that food contained in metal cans doesn't work for me. It actually feels like I had been poisoned. And I don't think that that's an intentional thing. I'm not putting anything on it, but it does. It's something that is a thing I need to consider when purchasing and preparing food, is that it can't be in cans, any kind of metal container, including drinks and things like that. Atma says, greetings from International Space Coast, Florida. Awesome. That's cool. I bet there's a lot going on over there energetically right now. Thank you for your service, Atma. Details in art. Yesterday, my body was vibrating and shaking like crazy. Some energies releasing. Today, I feel a big shift dimension-wise. Sorry, it was moving as I was trying to read it. Yeah, I actually noticed this also. A few of us have. There's a Telegram group that I have, by the way, for anyone who's interested. It's in the description. There's a link there. it's considered private, so you have to use the link to get to it. And in that, I think we have like 130 people or something like that. And in that group, a lot of people will come and say, hey, this is going on anybody else. And because there are people from all over the planet, there's always somebody awake. And it's just fun to kind of even just watch how this conversation's occurring. And yeah, last night, the night before also, but it's moving into stronger. This morning, it feels like a release for me. Like just this building up, and it's like, wow, now we're floating. The building up was like if we were moving through the ocean, from the depths of the ocean and moving up to the surface is what it felt like to me. Just that, wow, we're here. And a lot of that stomach related stuff, as well as other parts of our body, this vibrational, shaking, quivering, twitching experience that's occurring. A lot of us are noticing it more as this energy is moving through us, because when the energy, this light, it's love. This love is light and light is love. It's the same thing. It's so cool. As it moves through us, it kind of shakes out. It's the shaking out that's occurring. It's moving through the densities and the things that's we're leaving behind in self, behind, and then moving through that. I actually drew an image that popped up during our Zoom meeting yesterday, just to kind of show us where we came from. I didn't expect to show it today. I would have done a better job at shading it and making it look better. But this is where we, so the density we first started to move through and out, down, just kind of pulled away. And as it continues to pull away, we got more and more to pull away. It seems like it's because we haven't healed this stuff back here, but we have. It's just in the order that it's time. And as we do, we become more of a light body. It's really bizarre and crazy and awesome at the same time. We're moving into actually being a light body in this lifetime. Previously, Ascension required a passing on, as far as I'm concerned, and all the stuff that I've gotten, all the messages I've received regarding that this is like the first time that this has happened globally, like ever, not just globally, excuse me, cosmically. So that's really neat. And Donna says it really does. Atma, yes. Donna, autumn has been wintry. Yeah, I didn't have an autumn at all. Like that was some of the cool pictures I was really excited to take, because it's so ironic. Sunflowers with snow on them. We had an Indian summer. I don't know what you call it anymore. We had an Indian summer, and it turned immediately into winter. We didn't have an autumn. It's really strange. Serge says, holy, 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 blessings to all of you. Thank you for the beautiful blessings. Atma, yes, I can also taste in the food the chemicals and outside in the air. My tongue feels numb and tastes funny and tingly, right? I get that too. It tingly. And then this metallic taste. Oh, this heightened senses thing. This is actually unpleasant to me, because I didn't realize how many things smell like mold, especially at grocery stores and stuff. Oh, that's disgusting. The heightened sense of smell, the heightened sense of hearing, even the heightened sense of sight, and other senses also. Noticing energy, feeling emotion on your skin. I as empaths, we always feel each other's emotions and stuff. And I have in the past felt emotion on the surface of my skin when it's been very intense, when the person is an extreme emotion person, like just gets really upset, really, and they just kind of send that energy at you. That's happened before, where it feels kind of prickly. However, now all different emotion and experience and energy I can feel it on the surface of my skin. So I don't know if any of you are experiencing that also. It's kind of bizarre, but cool. It's another way of understanding what's happening in your experience. Also, though, that metallic taste, usually almost always for me, is associated too with this tingling sensation. So metal cans, oh sorry, I didn't, that's from Eden Art Garden. Metal cans usually have bisphenol A. Makes sense. All right, that makes it. Thanks for telling me. I don't know how to say that. Bisphensol. Sorry. Lots of spaceships. Yes, Atma. That's another really important. There's so many beautiful energies here right now. And if you can go up there, you can remote view, you can astral project into the energy space of where these beings are. It's really cool. It looks like they're lining up an audience for this cool event, which of course they are. What's happening right now here is affecting the entire cosmos. The energy ripples, they look kind of like percussion waves. I don't have a better example um, that does at this moment, but the percussion waves that move through, they continue out and out and out. When you are in your highest joy, when you are in a place of play, that is the most impactful moment that you can be within. That is when you are truly in service, when you're having fun. It sounds bogus because honestly, I was conditioned to believe the opposite for a very long time. And instead, now we're in this place where it's like, oh, by the way, now you get, doing the thing that you used to do is give yourself as a reward for doing all your hard service is actually service. So it's beautiful. And as we do that, as we raise our vibrations and send that energy out, it affects everyone and everything. It's so cool. Mandolin, welcome. Good to see you, sister. Excuse me. Trudy says, when I closed my eyes last night, I was getting visions of flying over the treetops and many faces just forming one after the other. Awesome. A lot of us are getting these impressions and understandings, and there's more than meets the eye. I mean, I don't know how to word that. Translating what's the experience that is in front of you using methods of standardized information doesn't really work as well anymore. What I mean is, you feel inside, you know what it means, you know what that really means. The visions aren't always the most impactful experience. Most often it's how it feels, as in trying to explain a scary dream to somebody. And when you start to say what it is, the dream was, let me tell you, this was so scary, I just can't shake it. And as you start to tell the story, it kind of falls, it like death. I mean, it falls flat. And it's because we are not able to present the emotion that's within it. That is such a strong part of that conversation energetically that speaks. So Nellie Pot says, it hurts my scalp to wear a ponytail, and I've worn one most of my whole life. And if I do, I can only handle it for a couple of hours. Just weird. So yeah, the scalp stuff, there's a lot, especially in the back. The crooks of our neck, right? Like the base of our neck meeting our spine, I guess, that spot, that crooks of our neck is an energy space. It's a chakra that's, I call it the dream chakra. It has a real term. I just can never remember it. Someone told me and I've just forgotten. And it's also where your soul enters your body, is that spot back there. And a lot of people are having activations there. I'm also noticing scalp stuff lately. It's almost like my scalp is tender and then it's fine again. I'm not really sure exactly what that is. I do know it has to do with the crown chakra. The crown chakra has then 6 or 7 other chakras surrounding it that are being activated for a lot of individuals. And so that might be part of what you're experiencing as well. There's always an understanding and a reason for this stuff. It's just figuring out what it means for you. When any of these ascension symptoms are occurring, grounding, being in a place of love and gratitude, always assist the experience, whatever it is. There's other methods for each thing. Epsom salt, I know it sounds silly, but it's really useful. Even if you can't take a bath, you can do a foot soak, something that you can put on a washcloth and dab it on yourself, water and Epsom salt. It's really assisting right now this time. Donna says, I get the metallic taste too. Yeah. Atma, I lost it. Sorry. It moved. I'm not sure where I was. Well, moving on. I'm sorry. Donna, has anyone been craving alcohol? Um, uh, Not me particularly. I've noticed the thing about consume though. What I mean by that is like it feels like I don't actually want to watch TV or to turn on YouTube or to do of these things, but there's this like cycling consume, go watch something, go do this, go do that, go find a snack, and I won't engage in any of those things, so I just end up slowly walking in a circle. um, and I've acknowledged it as it's happening. It's like consume, and I don't know really what that is exactly, but it is something that's been occurring for me. Um, let's see, Mandolin, I got called away to be delivery of the gifts for others. Great solstice sync. Oh, awesome! That is so cool. That's so beautiful. We celebrate Christmas on solstice, so today's been Christmas for us. It's been really great. The energy present in this day is so beautiful and so pure. And other individuals everybody celebrates what they want to on different times. And having a young person in my life, a child, I do like to participate in some of the traditions without taking away the energy of the solstice. And so it's just really cool. It's a lot of fun. um, Fenya says, when I left the house, my Arcturian guide told me, you never know who you will meet. And singing Yankee Doodle went to town riding on his pony. Then after my shopping, I drove back home. Awesome. Zeta says, I have even seen something that looks like a portal at night, looks hollow like a dent. Awesome. There are a lot of beautiful portals open right now, and they are available to us to assist us. There's a lot of really cool energy pouring through right now. And finally get the sun coming in. That's pretty neat. Um, let's see. Hello, Mick. Welcome. Atma says, yes, there was a flash of bright light that flashed in my back room. It caught my eye, and a light being, I guess, orbed in and then out, but the flash stretched upward and downward and then flashed out. Awesome. That is a really cool experience. That is something a lot of people are having, by the way. So let's talk about that for a minute. So before we were vibrating at this space right here, which is a great place to vibrate at, like it was beautiful. And now we're slowly vibrating higher. And how we tend to vibrate is we move up like this. We don't like just go, it's like, okay, so we go up and down and we slowly raise up to a higher vibrational space. Up here, there have been things that have been vibrating up here for a while, and we just weren't able to perceive them, being that we were vibrating down here. Now that we're moving up, a lot of people are starting to, for the first time or more than before, start to see these energies, these lights, these light beings. Um, some of them are coming through as orbs. They could be quite large. They could be quite small. They can even be microscopic. And they come in and they're playful. Often they create the sensation of that deep belly laugh and you're in just the giddy, fun, playful energy. Um, and other times they don't look like orbs to people. They look like I call them spider webs. They're similar to like a root system of a flower or something. They're really small and colorful, meaning each one is a base color. There's a violet one, a green one, and they're really fun and playful. A lot of people are seeing the silhouette of light without really any detail within, of a being, of an energy being. And a lot of times people are aware that they can feel who they are, even if no one's told them. And so to let you know, if you are in an experience with an energy and there's any kind of concern for you, send love at it. If you send love at it, it will answer back with love. If it is of love. If it is not of love, then it will flee. And so the silhouette can be also described as like a very faint white halo, or I mean, not halo, sorry, aura around the being. What's happening here is a lot of us are getting the chance to see who's already been here on your light team this whole time, here to support you, to guide you, to assist you, whether or not it's actual communication, just to to raise up your experience. Some people have also had recent experiences with disembodied arms, actually seeing the arms up to about here or so of beautiful arms above that person who's struggling with something, and that energy being, that light being, is assisting that individual. Often it's archangels and other beautiful beings that are coming in and helping. And so people are starting to get to see them. A side effect of that is a lot of individuals are understanding themselves to starting to lose their vision because they're noticing this in and out of focus thing that's occurring. There are other things that are vibrating up here that aren't as otherworldly seeming, that will come into view and then out as we are moving up to this higher vibrational frequency place. And so a lot of people are seeing like chairs, and they're seeing like these boulders and things like that all of a sudden aren't there any longer. It's really kind of cool. So that type of thing is happening, as well as just flashes of understanding, remembering yourself in that place of who you truly are. Who are you? You are confident. You are capable. You are tall. You are able. You are powerful. And in that remembering of that confidence, always we end up growing to, when we stand in our own energy, it feels like we're very tall, like 15 to 20 feet tall, and most of the times, or even more. And so those flashes of experiences and suddenly feeling taller and then shorter too, that's been a thing that's been happening for people. To a side note on that, I noticed that when I'm most grounded, I feel shorter. It looks like I'm shorter in my environment. When I'm not grounded, I seem to be very tall. So that's just a interesting side note. I lost where I was at. I'm sorry. Vicky, hello, welcome. Regarding aliens, this is details and art tattoo. Regarding aliens, after my Kundalini awakening in 2017, I had the same reoccurring dream for 1 week. 3 alien greys watching me as I was on a table. Could not move, but wasn't scared. That's awesome. A lot of us do have interaction with ETs, whether or not we do recall it. And it's really a cool thing. They're here to help us. There's all kinds of different experiences. Like you walk into a room of 100 people, one of them might be kind of a jerk, but for the most part, the vast majority of these energies are here to assist us for their own benefit also. They are service to other oriented. However, they're also assisting themselves by assisting us. What we're doing here is affecting everything. And so there's that experience. And so that's really cool. I've had a very, my interaction with ETs has increased quite a bit the last month or two, I would say. Madeline says, very sensitive areas. For many, the energy is cranking up in frequency. So pins and needles, cosmic acupuncture. That's a good way of saying it. Cosmic acupuncture. Yeah, the pins and needles thing, being able to, that sense is coming online. That's, when your hand falls asleep, it has that weird sensation is what we're talking about. And when it's coming back into filling back up and coming back awake again. A lot of individuals regarding this ET type thing also are having these flashes of experience remembering med beds. A lot of us are finding we're actually going to these places, and being invited to be in these med beds and get these alignments and assisting in our experience that's occurring right now. So I missed a couple of comments. I'm sorry, I've lost my spot. Jacaranda Marie and Mandolin are saying hello. Yes, cosmic acupuncture. I love it. The other example I love to say, because it feels so correct, that's similar to that, is that we are souls with dementia in a lot of ways. And so when we're moving through this experience, there's this vague familiarity sometimes. And sometimes it's like, whoa, I know this. How do I know this? Whatever it is. And then we have all these ETs that are coming in going, Grandma, do you remember me today? You know what I mean? And like, they're trying to assist us to come back. They're trying to assist us to recall, to remember. And it doesn't matter what your name was exactly. You know, that's not the important thing they're trying to get people to do, or it's remember who you feel like, who you are, that confidence, that truth, that knowledge, that ability. Cath 144. The well of dreams chakra is located at the back of the skull and neck. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, that spot right there. And the well of dreams. Interesting. Trudy says, is anyone else having old physical pains resurfacing? Yeah, I did. And when there's this rapid auto self-healing, this auto healing that's happening. And in that injuries that were an experience from the past will come up. In my experience, they'll come up and be uncomfortable, and then this process of healing occurs. It'll heat up like really hot, and noticing the heart kind of picking up momentum a little bit, which can feel alarming. And please, I'm not a doctor. Any of you going through distress, physical distress or whatever, and feel the need to seek medical attention, I'm not telling you not to. Donna says, yes, I have, Trudy. Donna's also says, after my awakening and years of chronic illness, I started healing myself. Lately, the pain is returning a bit. There you go. Yeah, and as we're doing this self-healing, the sensation, the discomfort, it does increase for a short time. So that is something to consider and to be aware of and to allow. I noticed I needed to give consent. There are some things in this experience that we do need to give consent for. When we reach out to the archangels, they're wanting to come help us. They're sitting there just kind of like, tell me, I want to come. And like, when we say help me, we're giving consent of assistance, right? And so the same is true for these other types of things. So if that's something that you're interested in and you do want to heal that thing outwardly with your voice or with just projecting of your thought, provide that consent, and it will often turn into a really interesting experience for you. RT Home said, I started eating eggs a couple of weeks ago after over a year without. Also craving beef, which I haven't had for a long time. That has been a common thing. A lot of vegans that have been vegans for decades started eating meat. There's a bunch of people that were like, I don't know why, I just want a steak or a hamburger or something like that. And after a time of indulging in that, the body going back to being okay with not again. And so it's just something that's moving through. One of the most important things that we can really do right now is to listen to our bodies. Our body's telling us what to do. And a lot of times we've been ignoring for all this time. I was ignoring it, taking an antacid, and instead of just saying that food's bad for my body, and just kind of torturing myself in a lot of ways. And so my body had to slowly learn to trust me, and I had to learn the language of my body over time. So, Mandolin, is anyone else feeling like a proficiency test is happening? Having to be the calm eye in the storm. Yeah, it does kind of feel a little bit like it. Everything's picking up. And then everyone seems to be aware of it all of a sudden too, which is kind of cool. I'm very glad that everybody's figuring it out and coming on. It does create a different experience. And you kind of feel like you have to hurry and pick up pace a bit. I lost my spot again. We're going to the bottom. Eden Art says, thank you for the perspective. Oh, that's for Mandolin. Hadn't considered things from this understanding. Vicky says, yes, my animals are extremely clingy right now. Can't leave their room without them, having panic attacks and running around the house to find mama. Yeah, I have a couple of animals also, and I've been noticing that too. They're much more cuddly right now than they tend to be. It's kind of interesting. Madeline says, we are curious creatures by nature. We just forgot. Yeah. Atma says, yes, me too, feeling the heart, but I hear the energy in my ear first, then in the heart, and my feet being touched. Yeah, and The feeling when you're in your bed at rest or going into rest, being in a place where you feel like someone stepping on your bed, kind of a feeling. Um, that's been happening a lot more lately. And that window of time between waking and sleeping has been the most downloady time that I have available to me. And so what's been happening for me, I'm exhausted. I am so tired all of the time. You wake up from my sleep and I need a nap from sleeping. So tired. And I'm finally getting to sleep. It's that sleep space. I'm laying there, and then all of a sudden downloads, like so much stuff, and the guides are interacting, and it's not 3 a.m. guys, you're supposed to give me a couple more hours, and like, and having these experiences, they're awesome. And there's, just like Mandolin said, all of a sudden it's picking up like really fast, and all of these things are coming in, and it's beautiful. I'm not complaining. It's this thing where that's the time to do it. So I suppose that the most wise action there would be to go to bed a little bit earlier, giving yourself a little bit more time to be in that download space. Um, Let me try to go back up to where I had lost everybody. Sorry about that. Um, Perhaps these cravings are surfacing to heal. I don't know. That's a good point, Donna. Um, that's the cravings are there are different kinds that are occurring too. We're also having cravings of food that are uncommon to our diet. As we are leaving behind certain foods, we're also craving these other things. And I think maybe that's part of it, is that our body is looking for a mineral or a vitamin where it hasn't had it before, in its natural source. And it's asking for it in wherever it's available. So I do know that I've had a few experiences in recent months where my body craved certain things that immediately washed through me, and I was confused by it. Why was my body craving this thing that I had omitted from my diet with intention before, and now it wants it back, and instead it doesn't even want it, it's just getting rid of it. I think that's part of this purging experience. It knew that it wouldn't maintain, and it would clear out my system. So maybe it's partly that. I don't know for sure. It feels correct for me on a few of the occasions. Um, and Eden at Art Garden says, absolutely, Mandolin. Feels like emotions, boundaries, reactions are being tested in my realm. Yeah, and other types of things too. The inspiration to stretch, to move, often needs to have something that creates that reaction. An archaic example is slapping the baby's butt when it's born to create make it cry, to make it use that muscle. And the same is true for a lot of these other types of experiences that we have. As we have them, as these experiences move through us, we have that reaction. Our spiritual muscle moves, and we can see that thing, or we can do that thing, or that we didn't know we could before. And that's what a lot of these experiences are, to prompt the motion, to see what is there, what you've always had within you. These skills, these abilities, these gifts are something that you've always had. They've just you've not been aware of them or had access to them for one reason or another. And now that they are accessible, someone's showing you that they're there. Not always in the most fun way, but prompting that moment of experience will often take you there. Mandolin says, yes, reaction seriously being tested. And then Eden says, yes, feels like the year is being harvested in retrospect. Yeah, it really does. It's time to move through. And by the way, we're in this place where this space right now that we've been shown for a while, and this window of time, the mass awakening has been occurring. However, it's been occurring in waves. So here's this wave. Now there's this wave. And it's been like smaller groups before, right? And they've been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, especially over the past, 4 or 5 years. It's been almost every year. There's been a big clump of people who've been awakening. now we're at this window of time where there's this floodgate of individuals waking up. And we got a lot of people who had been indoctrinated into this cultural system that are jumping in right now and trying to get a sip of water from a raging fire hydrant. And so it's just a lot of information at the same time. So a lot of us are feeling like this panic, anxiety, oh my goodness, impending doom kind of feeling that flashes through you for a minute. That's not you. What we're feeling are these people waking up and realizing they'd been lied to, or whatever it is that's causing that, oh, that beginning of the dark night of the soul sensation is what all of us are aware of in some way. And so just to know that when that comes through, it's a lot easier to do something if you know why it's there, at least for me. Mandolin says, during the cold / dark cycle, you use and process the rest of the harvest. Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Fenya says, I ask regularly that medical team work on me on their spacecraft for healing. I got info that they do that. Yeah, they 100% do. They are helping us out. They're aligning us. They're moving and helping us move through this as we are shedding certain elements and things that we've collected in this lifetime that are not in harmony with what we're doing. Jacaranda Marie. Also, dreams are bringing through understanding of why things happened in the past. Yes. And understanding that as we acknowledge those things and allow them the moment of witness, so to see them, someone actually see them, then they don't have to exist anymore. This sounds really weird. And then it's really cool though. And then history, we move into a place where history didn't exist yet, or didn't ever exist, I think is the wording. I wrote it down. Very fascinating. We're closing timelines, and as we close timelines, we're realizing much of the history didn't actually occur. Or if it did, we're ending the occurrence of it by this. I don't know how to explain it. It's really cool though. The Arcturians are often doing energy work on Mandolin. Yeah, I'm getting that too. I'm getting a lot of other energies as well, but particularly Arcturians right now. It's really interesting. It's electric. Kendra, I have a video short on my channel of my light body activation. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. Thank you for telling me, Kendra. Eden says, it's been almost unbearably self-reflective. I've been writing letters of apology like my life depends on it. Please, if you're doing that, remember to also include yourself. Of all of the things that need forgiveness is forgiveness of self. Once we can completely forgive self, we are able to fully unlock the heart chakra in a way that we may not even have known possible. I didn't. And then when that occurred, it was as if a big, thick, like steel cage broke off from around my heart chakra and expansion occurred. And in that expansion, then self-love was able to come. Never having had that before either, not even realizing that. I love that you're doing this. Please, anyone who's listening or watching right now, allow themselves that space of self-forgiveness that will assist you moving through and up. I'm not the only one sharing this message. I've been sharing it for a little while, and it's an Archangel Michael message, and now it's an Arcturian message, and a Pleiadian message. All of these energies are saying the same thing. And now I'm seeing it all over in other channels too. I just actually helped edit someone else's channeling that had the same thing in it too. This is all editing for written language, not for the message. And it's just a really important thing right now. So as we're moving through, please remember yourself when forgiving. A lot of times when we give forgiveness, we give away some of ourself. Meaning, I'm not suggesting we don't forgive others. That's beautiful that we do it. Methods that I had used in the past was when I give forgiveness to somebody else, while I'm doing that, I'm taking responsibility. And so that was my method of being able to give that forgiveness. Well, I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have done that, or it was my fault, this part, or whatever it is that I've justified to be responsible for it, I took on more and more and more and more and more of this unforgiveness of self until I finally allowed myself to address it. And when I addressed it, I was able to move through and out. So that's something to be aware of. And there's a lot of beautiful guided meditations on YouTube for that as well. Phase Mystic Faith. Pam, can you also talk about the twin flame journey? So the twin flame journey. Okay. So this is just my experience. Everybody has a different thing to say about it. Twin flame and soulmate are two different things. A twin flame is awesome. It's a great energy. It's this. So when we come down, we separate and separate and separate and separate from God, right? We start from God, we separate down the soul fragments, and they fan out like this. And there are pairs that are multiple, so you could have 7 twin flames, at least, maybe more. I know for sure 7, and those 2 twin flames meeting each other are both on this ascension trajectory, right? And then when they meet, there's like this, that's how my experience. There's a static, right, that's happening, and it propels them up very rapidly, which is awesome. However, I find I am good. I'm good. I've had enough twin soul experiences, twin flames experiences, so I'm good. There are also soulmates. The soulmate is this harmony. And again, the twin flame isn't disharmonious exactly. There's just, we accelerate each other in those experiences. So when one person is healing through something, the other one is at the same time often. And so the home experience can very much look like really awesome and in peace and great, and then not, and then really awesome. It's almost a bipolar family. And so that's my experience with it. There are a lot of other kind of things that it's all beautiful. Like there's nothing wrong with it. It's simply prepare yourself that it's going to be a little bit of work. Is that work worth it? Most usually it is, and so, yeah, you're welcome. It is, it's hard. It's hard, but a lot of the things that we're doing right now is we're picking up the loose threads, right? We're pulling things back to center again, and allowing this experience to be. It's like we're left with a few pieces of a puzzle. The puzzle's almost done. It's really easy now. Now you just know that part goes here, that part goes there. But then what? Now we get to do a different puzzle, right? And so there's also this hesitancy of like, do we want to complete this right now in order to have to start a new puzzle? I don't know if that's a really silly analogy. It's from my daughter. Donna says, I met my twin flame this year, 4422. His B-day are my fave numbers, 1122. Awesome. Well, congratulations. I'm happy for you. And please know I wasn't suggesting against it. Just there's a couple of them. I've experienced 3 of them, and they're not always romantic. They're not always romantic. That's one part I forgot to say. It's not always a romantic experience meeting up with a twin flame. Sometimes a child, a parent, a friend, and so on. And so just be aware that you can find them in all places. Not all of them are what it seems to be sensationalized by in a lot of these videos that you'll see. You're welcome. Stephanie says, gotta tap out to go feed my crows. Hope to see you at the 3 p.m. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you, Stephanie. Oh, and I want to, before I close, I want to say a quick shout out to everyone. Thank you all for being on this journey and participating in this way. I had no way to really understand and wrap my head around the way or what this experience would be like. And, getting up to 2,000 subscribers, and, I've been getting donations, which have been really helpful. And there's a lot of requests of the staying anonymous. So I thank you for the donations and for the love and the participation. any of you who are interested, I am opening up to doing occasional one-on-one meetings, and they're $22 an hour. So if you are interested, that my email is in the description of this video. But if you want to join us for free Zoom meetings, we have them twice a week on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then also on Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's free. You don't have to have your camera on. You can come in late and you can leave early. They're 3 hours long, so you do have that luxury of being able to go and do something and come back and still have time to talk some more. So it's just a really cool experience to be part of this journey with so many of you. And so in that space, you're able to speak up. You know, a lot of us are having throat chakra stuff, and it really helps us if we speak our truth. And so that's what this platform is for, these Zoom meetings. So I hope that if you're interested, that you choose to join. You can always find the link to these YouTube or to these Zoom meetings in my community section about 24 hours before the meeting will occur. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. Happy solstice. And know that this energy moving through you is here in assisting you. It's an assistive force. It's here to make your experience more beautiful and provide you with the upliftment that is needed to get to that next step. You know, so it's something that I am very grateful for. So happy solstice. Thank you all for joining me. I will be doing this again next Monday. So I hope to see you all there. I love you all. Sending you so much love. Bye.